So here we go, Rachel and Becki, here to have
Hey.
a conversation about Jesus, Mary Magdalene, and whatever else comes into the conversation.
Yeah. Yes, that sounds beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really interesting for me reading your book about your cancer journey and recognizing there were so many similarities with the, kind of really allowing spirit to hold us. I think that was the big thing,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And kind of,
Yeah.
you know, these icons that people look at as being religious, and I have to say that I didn't. At one point I thought my kids are going to think I'm going crazy. I've become this religious nut that's got Mary
Yeah,
and
right.
Jesus all over my house.
Yeah, right, right.
But how was it for you? I mean, were you raised in kind of any kind of religion, or what
You
was
know,
your?
I was raised in an area that was a very predominant one religion, and I was not a part of that particular religion. And so it was hard for me because I was judged, and I grew up with a lot of, oh, well, you can't, you're not following the right thing, right? Kind of thing, kind of judgments. And so even though I was really strong, I think when I was 14, I had an experience of going to like a youth group revival. And it was a Christian based event. But I remember I had a connection with Jesus, very, very strong, very visceral. My body was responding to him and this call to him. But it wasn't, I never felt comfortable in like an organized religion per se. Like I tried it,
Yeah,
Rachel, I did it, for a while in my 20s. I was pretty active in the church that I was in, but I just couldn't resolve all of the politics and the judgments and the different paradigms that kept being pushed about. Because I remember even at a young age, I remember thinking to myself, okay, well, I don't believe that everybody's going to hell. I just
no,
don't.
yeah.
Yeah. I
It
don't
doesn't
have.
make sense, does it? I mean, I was the
Oh,
same as a child. I went to a Catholic school and I was being taught by nuns. And at 5, I was questioning the nuns, and I was like put in the corner for asking the wrong questions. But it was just
right.
like,
Yeah. No, don't dare ask that question.
no, but it wasn't making sense to me. It's like, with this all loving God, but then he punishes you as well. And it was just kind of like, I
Yeah.
don't, that's it. Yeah, for me, it was the same. It was like, how can it be so loving and judgmental at the same time?
Yeah.
And when you
Yeah.
really look at the teachings of Jesus, that there wasn't any judgment. I mean, it was all, he loved everyone, he accepted everyone. And I think, the world we're living in at the moment is so divisive, and
It's so divisive. Yeah.
our path is both of us working towards unity and just, trying to, it's bringing everyone together. We're all human
Yeah.
beings struggling on this
Yeah.
planet.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. And Rachel, I think the thing, because of all of that I was experiencing, of the judgment and the politics and all that kind of stuff, I walked away for a lot of years. I
mm,
very metaphysical, very connected. I'm still very intuitive, still connected to Jesus, but not in a really big way. It kind of took a back seat because because of the paradigm related to religion
mm,
or organized religion, I had to kind of just step back.
yeah,
And it wasn't until Jack passed, my partner, who then I ended up having afterlife communication with, Rachel. When he first came to me, the very first time he came to me, he was side by side with Jesus.
wow,
And Jesus had actually come to me before Jack passed. And he reminded me that he knew me. Becki, I know you. And I was just in tears, like, how can you know me? Like, I'm just so lowly, I'm thinking to myself, right?
yeah,
And yet I think that the path was being prepared for the journey that I was then to take,
yeah.
with Jack and then with myself, Rachel, with the cancer.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, it's just, that's the same for me. It was kind of like, I was brought up in religion and I even got confirmed and all that kind of thing. And it was, Yeah, I think it was when I had my daughter when I was 17 and I was unmarried, and that was very frowned upon in the church. And the
Sure,
priest
sure.
actually told me that my baby was going to hell, and that's when I kind of I walked away
Right.
and I did not look back. And it was again when I had cancer. I read the book The Way of the Rose, and I started praying the
Yeah.
Rosary, and it was just, in comes Jesus, in comes Mother Mary, and they're an energy. You know,
Yes.
they're not these people that are in the biblical story. They're this beautiful healing energy, and that's what I felt. And the same as you, it's like, whoa, what? Almost like I'm not worthy. Why me? Why me? Why are
Right,
you
right.
here with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mary just, you say, oh, you're all my children. You're all my
Yeah.
children. I love you all. You're all my children, and that was so comforting. When you're
Yeah.
in that place of like loss or grief or illness, just to have
Yeah.
something to hold on to, and someone that you feel is holding on to you, even they're in spirit. And I know
Right.
you had that with Jack. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's
Very much, very much. But the part, I think that the interesting part was I had to allow, like I had to let go of my own self judgment, my own self, um, you know, maybe lack of worthiness, and recognize that no, Becki, you are connected. This is happening. You have these beings supporting you. Jesus, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene came in very strong for me, the three of them,
yeah,
and Jack. And so the process of going through accepting the beauty of that, accepting that, yes, we are all worthy. We are all a part of this beautiful design and this divine spark. It's all of us. And so once I recognized that and was able to kind of let go and step into it, that's when it really happened. And so by the time I got my own cancer diagnosis, Rachael, I was well into that realm of connecting with them
yeah,
and
yeah.
working with them.
Yeah. And you just reminded me, actually, the first person I ever went to for a Reiki session, this was like I was in my late 20s, and she was just this amazing, sort of really normal woman living an estate, kind of, very plain, quite poor houses. And she
Mhm.
said, I said, "Oh, how did you get into Reiki?" And she said, "Jesus told me to do it." And I immediately kind of went, "Oh my God, I didn't know Reiki was anything to do with Jesus." And of course it isn't. But it was just that he was one of her guides, and she really helped
Yes.
me see him as something completely apart from religion, and
Yeah.
that, the fact that he was her guide and he was talking to her and she was giving me messages from him. And I'd forgotten that until you started talking. Then I was like, wow, yeah, I had that experience, in my 20s,
Yeah.
you know,
Wow.
and that he comes to everybody who's
Yeah.
open. That's the thing, isn't it? We just have to be open. And I don't know what your experience is, but mine has been, as soon as I even think of him, he's
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Anyone. I mean, same with my dad, and all the spirits. Like, you just that, and it's not
Mm.
like they're waiting, but it's an energetic connection, isn't it? It's like they can be everywhere
Absolutely.
all at once. And it's
Yeah.
just like they're there holding my hand while I'm getting scan results or having my chemotherapy, whatever it was. It was kind of like, I'm not on
Yeah.
my, because I was going through all of mine when all COVID was going on. So I wasn't allowed to take a friend with me to an appointment.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
like,
Right. Yeah.
here's my friend. I've got my spirit guides with me. I've got Mother Mary holding my hand. It was, yeah, it was something that I wasn't really talking to people about.
Well, I really didn't either. And in fact, I didn't, because I had so distanced myself from organized gatherings, right? Organized meetings with church per se. Um, I wasn't speaking about it a lot, but what started happening for me in my own business with doing Reiki with clients and energy healing work is that they they started coming in all the time. Like Jack was present, Jesus is present, Mother Mary, so Mary Magdalene often. So they started communicating with me and sharing information. And I just had I the more that I got comfortable with it, the more then I started sharing with people. And I say now, when I go in to work with someone, Rachael, I'm just like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's going to come through, but this is a possibility. And are you open?
Yeah,
And then we'll just go from there.
yeah. So do you feel like they each hold a different energy when you're working with someone, like doing healing treatment? Do they bring in different things?
Yeah.
Because for me, Mary Magdalene feels very shamanic, and like she does some really full-on energy work, whereas Mother Mary's more of a loving, holding
She's
presence.
holding. Yeah, very
Yeah,
much holding. Exactly.
yeah,
That's how I
yeah,
experience you too.
yeah. And Jesus is just this giant light of the world. It's just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
whoa, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a similar sense?
I do. I do. And, there are times when, I'm just so connected to Jesus. And he'll just, I'll see him looking at me and I'll just start crying because the love and the energy, that divine essence is getting infused. And it's just this beautiful wave of that divine love and light that gets brought in. And
Yeah.
and I can't help, they're tears of joy, right? They're tears of bliss, they're tears of connection. And so I'm always clarifying that with people. It's like, look, no, this is a beautiful, I'm just feeling this energy so beautifully and strongly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Jesus is like, I can just have that wave, that wash happen. And it happens. So guess what? I am now going to church again.
Oh, wow.
And I never thought I would do that. Like, I never thought that would be a part of my journey to go back to something that I had experienced as so closed, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm doing at this point is that I've been able to go and let go. I,
Yeah.
I go and I'm there and I experience the energy and the love and the light and the music. The music's very uplifting. And there are times when somebody's saying something and I'll say, okay, Jesus, I know this is their
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is the perspective. It's okay, right? I have a little bit broader awareness, but it's okay. It's
Yeah.
all okay. And people are experiencing their connection to the divine, however they experience it, Rachel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
And
so if that's,
something about church is that there is community there, isn't there? It's kind
yes,
of
there
like,
is. It's beautiful.
and there are so many different kinds. So which kind of church do you go to? Is it?
It's more of a Christian base, but it's one of those that, well, I don't know if you've seen the movie, The Jesus Revolution.
Yes, I have.
Okay, I love
Yes,
that
yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
I love
that I was watching going, that's the church I go to. I want to be baptized in the sea. And
hey, let's go. Because oh, okay, if I ever got baptized again, I would go and do it right there at Pirates Cove.
yeah.
So it's very much like that. It's very enlivening. The pastor's got long hair. He looks like Jesus, he's like, and but the music is enlivening. They play electric guitar and they have drums and it's just an uplifting experience.
So that's
And
very
everybody
different
there's
from the
joy.
church. That's very different from the kind of church I went to as a child. It was very solemn,
Yes,
boring hymns. Kind of, although I
right.
loved the ritual because it was Catholic. There was a lot, swinging the incense and all that stuff. So I did love that ritual part of it. But yeah, I watched that film and I was just like, yeah, that church looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the kind of church that I've kind of gone back to, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I connect so strongly to those energies when I'm there. Jesus and Mother Mary's very present, and
Yeah,
Mary Magdalene, and I mean all of those energies are there. The saints, it's what's helped me live, right? It like getting back into the divinity within me, Rachel. And I'm always being told by Jesus, you're not separate from Becki. We are one. We are one. We are one. And that so much helped me, Rachel, get past the what I want to say, the label
yeah,
of cancer,
yeah, yeah,
the label of, you've got stage 3 and you're in trouble, and the fear that comes with it. That the
yeah,
fear that can come
yeah,
with that collective consciousness
yeah,
of um, cancer
yeah.
and death, because my partner died. He left the planet with cancer.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
that,
same with my dad. I mean, that was my story
yeah,
was, cancer equals death. And, it's like, and I
oh,
knew
right.
that I had to change that story. I
Yes.
just knew deep in my bones. It was like, it's not my time. I have to
Yeah.
transmute this somehow. I have to
Yeah.
transmute this. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know that I could have got through it without my spiritual beliefs. I mean, I know people do, but I
I know.
just,
I know.
it's kind of like I had to be this spiritual warrior. It's like I had to see Mother Mary with her hands on that chemotherapy. Otherwise, it was not coming in my body. It was just like
Right. Right. Yeah.
everything had to become a prayer. Everything had to become holy and sacred. And it's almost like that's how we should be living life. It's
Yeah.
just like, let's if we were all living life as a prayer and holy and sacred, how different would life be?
Oh my gosh. And being able to navigate the challenges that come forward, right? I mean, I look at myself now, Rachel. I have so much life force vitality and excitement for life, for the next moment, and really not judging what's coming. Like I'm really much better at living in the moment
Yeah, me too.
and just being and understanding that this is a gift. This is such a beautiful gift.
Yeah.
But being
Life
connected
is
to
a gift.
them, life
Yeah.
is a huge gift. And being connected to those beautiful energies is part of that gift we all get to have.
Yeah. It's part of being a divine being, isn't it? It's kind of,
Yeah.
that beautiful quote that Marianne Williams is that, who are we not to be divine and powerful? And, it's,
Right.
we
Yeah.
don't have to shy away from that. And
Right.
it's funny you saying that gift of life. It's like my children were joking the other day saying, oh, they were saying that I was old and I'm in my 50s. And I was like, I'm only halfway through my life. I see that as like halfway through my life. I've got loads of life left. Don't you dare call me old. I intend to be here for quite a long time,
Yeah,
actually.
right, right, right. Yeah. I
you know,
know.
it's kind of, yeah, it is that shift that happens, I think, when you face death, whether it's, your partner or your own. It's just like life just becomes so precious and you don't want to
It
waste
becomes
a drop of it.
so wonderful and precious.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that perspective, so my hope, Rachel, is that we can share that energy so that people don't necessarily have to take the path that we took, right? To get there, that they could open up and accept the beauty of that now, like whatever is going on in their life. And that it doesn't have to be done through knocking at death's door, that
No.
that it can be done experiencing life and living.
And I was saying that to so many people when I was going through my cancer journey. It's like, you don't have to go through what I'm going through to have the light bulb moments that I'm having. Come on, learn from
Yeah.
me. Learn from me. Come on. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I just had a little thought drop in. I don't know if you're up for this, that maybe we could do a little meditation where we call them in.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. That feels great.
Do you want to lead something or shall I? I don't know.
How about, well, why don't you go ahead, and if I feel moved to add, how about I do
Yeah.
that?
Let's go for it. Okay. So let's just start by just taking a breath and coming back to ourselves, breathing into your heart. I'm hoping everyone watching is joining in with us. And I find just coming back to my heart is just the place of rest and reverence and beauty. And actually, I'm feeling Mother Mary coming in. She's placing her hand on the back of my heart. So I invite you all to just imagine that. Imagine Mother Mary is just standing behind you with her hand on the back of your heart, loving you, absolutely loving you. How that feels, feeling her as mother of all.
The honor that she gives all of us.
And it's so beautiful you feel this shift in energy as they come in. This palpable energy in the room just shifts. And all it takes is just being open. Just be open to them coming.
Trusting that what you're feeling is real, that the awareness of the peace that we are being enveloped in.
I don't know about you, Becki, but I can feel Jesus just standing in front of me,
He's
smiling.
standing in front of us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just got the biggest smile of like, you two
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally see him in front of us too.
Oh, so again, just allowing that energy. He's just shining his beautiful light. Like Becki was saying earlier, just allow yourself to open to this Christ consciousness of oneness,
Mhm.
beauty, and miracles. You know, I think that was one of the biggest things for me when I was ill. It was just like, I believe in miracles.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
believe in miracles. And that was what Jesus proved to the world, that through your faith you shall be healed.
Yes, absolutely. The magic takes place and you get to witness it, you get to feel it, you get to experience the oneness of you as a complete being with this divine essence married to this physical form, has the ability to hold all of it. You have the ability to be this beautiful human form holding all of the love and light that is who we are. And the marriage of the two is what we share, is what we get to experience.
As you're speaking back, I feel my energy body just getting bigger. It's like, take up the space, take up the space. You're worthy.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and
Again.
I could see Mary Magdalene, and she's kind of doing, I don't know what she's doing. She's doing something with her hand. She's clearing some energy. She's, I don't know. Just, yeah, she's just, it's like when you see people doing light language and her hands are just moving around and doing symbols, and she's clearing the energy. So anyone listening, just allow her to clear your energy field. Trust that she's removing anything that needs to be removed, and maybe popping in some activations or codes to support you. But she's laughing. She's there's just such bliss with all of them,
Yeah.
isn't it? They have such a
Yeah.
light
There's so much joy.
energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So much joy. It's like they want us to play with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like skip around in a circle or something.
Dance with the energies. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. That's it. Dancing with the energy. Yeah. It's just such a beautiful energy. And I just think if you just spend 2 minutes each day in this energy, you know, how much it lifts you and how much it opens your heart.
prepares you, heals you. Those higher frequency energies are absolutely healing.
Mm. I feel like they're just holding everyone. It is like us and everyone watching, we're just in a circle holding hands, and the energy is just flowing. This healing energy, this radiant energy, this uplifting activation.
The rising and falling, the waves, beautiful, beautiful waves. They're just so honoring of us they're so honoring of us and what we are doing, accomplishing, being here.
Yeah. And at this time, that we're here for this time. We chose to come for this time, to raise the
Yeah.
vibration, to share the love, to share the energy.
To hold this beautiful frequency that they're infusing in us right now, right now, right.
It would be so easy to sit in this energy all
For a
day.
long time, yes.
Oh,
I see them thanking all of us for being open to receiving. Thank you for receiving, you're saying.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mm.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanking them for sharing their energy with us.
Yeah.
And gently, very gently, just coming back to your body, coming back to this third dimensional space that we have to live in. But it's a lot more fun when we bring their
A lot
energy
more
with us.
fun. Right.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm getting the tears now.
It's like you said, Rachel, when we do this, when we connect and we do this, and the more that we are aware, every moment becomes a walking prayer and you feel that connection. You're not separate from it anymore, right? We have this amazing ability to do this. We just forget. We get busy. We get,
Yeah.
you know, life happens.
Yeah.
And in any moment, all we have to do is breathe into this body and breathe into that awareness and the connection.
Yeah. Well, I know when I was going through my healing, I'd often go for walks in nature. And if I was on my own, I would sometimes just imagine that I was holding hands with Mary and Jesus walking through the woods, just be like a little child. It was like,
Right, right.
and it was just so comforting to, you
Yeah,
know, yeah, to just know they're walking with us. They're walking
yeah,
with us, that was part of the surrender as well. It's like, even if I'm gonna die on this journey, I'm
yeah,
not alone, and I'm just gonna step through the veil, and they'll still be holding my hands.
yeah,
And that
yeah,
was and that was huge. That kind of, to surrender to death,
yeah,
and not have fear. It was just like, wow, because people talk about it, and I heard, like what I've just said, I'd heard people saying that, but I couldn't feel it. I couldn't feel
right,
that peace with death at all until,
right.
it was like, it's all going to be okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I
yeah.
think I think I experienced that with Jack when he was passing. I think I lost any fear of transition, especially when he came back to me and we started having connection and communication. It's like, oh yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah.
So my thing was a surrender too, and yet an awareness that it wasn't time. And
Mm,
it's like, but now my everyday moment is like, for however long I'm here, thank you.
yeah.
For however long you want me to do what I'm here to do, and I'm here to do, however long.
Yeah. 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 I have a little prayer every morning. It's just like, thy will be done. And
Yeah.
I trust that whatever happens in my day,
Yeah.
it's all for a reason, and the synchronicities and the divine timing and the people, and it just, yeah, life flows, which is
Yeah.
how life should be. But it was before, it was like I was trying to control everything. It all was,
Yeah.
difficult, and it's like, wow, just let go. It's okay. It's all okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think part of that is, you're trying to make life happen, right? You're trying to make things happen. You're trying to build your business and, live life and raise kids. And, we do all of that, right?
Yeah.
But it was truly when I truly let go, like what you're saying, you just let go, the flow happens. Synchronicities take place. It just works
Yeah.
without my control.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I
Don't
mean,
do things, right? But
I barely even feel like I have to advertise anymore because people just can't, it's just like spirit
people
just brings
find
people
you.
in. Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
that's the whole kind of, yeah, just absolute trust in life,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
everything is fine. I'm held, it's all good. The bills are
Yeah.
paid. It's like it's all sorted. Even down
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
those mundane kind of like, it's okay, we're going to take care of, you don't have to worry about all of that. You
Yeah.
know, it
Yeah.
is quite amazing, quite amazing.
Oh gosh, it's beautiful. I'm so excited that we've gotten to share these moments today, because um, it is the gift of us being able to share with others, to share with everyone. We're not separate from, and technology is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. This is
I
it.
mean, we're across the world from each other, and look at this.
Look at
Yeah.
this. Yeah. And it would be so lovely to have comments and, see how other people are sensing
Yes.
the energy, and how, because I have met other people that have been a bit kind of like closet Christians, or it's like
Yes.
a bit
Yeah.
scared to kind of say, I had a meditation group in my house for the first time last night, and they were like, whoa, you've got Jesus on the wall. And I was like, yeah, yeah, he's got amazing, beautiful,
Yeah.
healing
He's
energy.
an amazing being.
And
Yeah.
I could sense that, oh, okay, this Rachel's changed a bit, because the house that I've moved to is very different from my old house, which was much more witchy and shamanic and drums
Sure.
everywhere. And I'm like, no, I've had an upgrade. This is my
Yeah.
upgrade. You know?
Well, it was mine too. It's so funny because it's like, yeah, no, I'm going back to that connection I had when I was young.
Yeah,
That I knew him. I knew
yeah,
him.
yeah,
And I knew, Mother Mary and the love and the nurturing and the holding, and then Mary Magdalene and the divine feminine and all of the work that was being done with her and Jesus. And I'm feeling myself being pulled more and more into that work as well, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and
yeah.
supporting all of that. So,
Yeah. And I know for me in church, I mean, Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary were the only women there. It was like there weren't any other figures, divine feminine figures, were there? So I was just like, I put my hat on Mother Mary. She's just like, you're the only woman in here.
yeah, you're it.
And they were like the archetypes, weren't they? Of like the whore and the virgin. It was kind of like,
Yeah.
there's a whole other
All
picture going on. Come on.
right.
Yeah, and that's
Right.
what was so exciting. I suppose for me, I went very much down the goddess path and the divine feminine, and it's taken me a long time to come back. That's the balance, isn't it? Coming back with the divine
It
masculine.
is.
You know, we can't swing either way too
Right.
much. It's like it's balance, isn't it? We have to come back to the
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Becki. I really enjoyed this
You're welcome.
conversation.
Yeah, I did too. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Treat to be with you today.
It's beautiful, and I encourage others to read Becki's books. They're really beautiful, and her whole journey with spirit and death and cancer. It's just that they're written so beautifully, Becki. That it's
Yeah,
such
thank
went on
you.
such a journey, and for me there were so many synchronicities, and I teach Reiki as well, and I
I
was
know,
just like,
right? Our
oh,
journeys are very, very
yeah.
similar, right?
It's just like, wow, okay. So yeah, do check out and if you're in Becki's area,
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what she's up to. But thank you so much. And we
Oh,
look
thank
forward
you,
to
Rachel.
getting feedback and seeing.
Well, and I'm super excited about your book launch, and
Oh,
so, there to support you and do whatever I can in that way too. So
thank
thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you, thank
Beautiful.
you.
Okay.